Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Mekakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us his truth and who rule well. Peace, love, salutations, and mercy be unto the hopeful elect. This video is going to be entitled, Why Having a Man is Necessary for the State of Survival. Why is having a man necessary for the state of survival? And for a long time, you women have been living in pleasure. You've been living in luxury and voluptuousness. You've been chasing after tangible things, all right? And living after the pleasure of the flesh instead of doing your role as a woman within our nation. And Esau has given you a license, liberty to sin, and with the government agencies, you know, you got the police force, you got your judicial system, and you got the laws that they pass, all right, which protects you and allows you to live after the manner that is not acceptable according to the scriptures. And you have been leaning on that as a support system, all right, which gives you a false sense of security. So you have chose to live in pleasure because of this false sense of security, and therefore you have neglected your role as women within the nation of Israel. And not to all of you. You have some women that are, you know, elect women, all right, and will be saved. You got some women that respect their husbands and follow the way that a woman is supposed to, you know, carry herself and conduct herself according to the scriptures. You know, so if the shoe fits, you know, then apply it. You're going to find out why having a man is necessary for the state of survival, especially in these times. All right, with this coronavirus scare and everything locking down, all right, you got a bunch of independent women that are panicking, man. All right, women that have chose that independent lifestyle. All right, I don't have to be submissive to a man. I can do whatever I want. A man ain't gonna control me. All right, that's cool. All right, so if that is the case, then don't go fleeing to a man, all right, in the state of chaos, when all things are turning to shit and turning to hell. All right, you can save yourself. In the ancient times, those times were different. All right, it was understood why a man was necessary for the state of survival. He offers protection. So who's going to protect you in the times to come? If someone wants to ravish you, or a group of men wants to ravish you, who's going to, you know, fight them off? If someone kidnaps you and take you, who's going to come and find you? If you're hungry, who's going to go out and get food for you within times like these? Remember that vultures prey on the weak. And guess what? You're going to remember the lifestyle that you chose. All right, especially within these times. Now, I have a few scriptures on why having a man is important. And one of them, all right, is the book of 1 Samuel, the 30th chapter. All right, this is 1 Samuel and Salakia. Yep, 1 Samuel, the 30th chapter. And beginning at verse 1. Now, this is the event when David's wife and the wives of his men that were fighting, all right, beside him, were taken by some Amalekites. And David and his men played an important role as redeemers. All right, so a man is a redeemer. What is a redeemer? A redeemer is someone that's a close kinsman, all right, your husband, all right, your father, your brother, all right, a man that steps in to come and to redeem you in the event that someone comes after you and take you. Now, I just want to grab the definition of redeemer within Google real fast. And it says a person who redeems someone or something. All right? Really, the ultimate redeemer is Yahweh Shai, because he has redeemed us back into the Most High Heavenly Father. And he have chosen elect men that he's dealing with. Now, let me clarify something. All right, because the title is Why Having a Man is Necessary. Really, it should be Why Having a Man of the Lord is necessary, because the Lord is only dealing with particular men. The Yahweh is only dealing with men. All right, the scripture says that ye, the flock of my pasture, are men. But he's only dealing with elect men. And in these days, these elect men are going to be safe from the things that are going on in the world, although they're in the midst of them. They're going to have food. They're going to have protection. All right, does not the scripture say that the Most High Heavenly Father is going to send Michael the archangel, all right, to protect, all right, the elect in the time of trouble? That's Daniel 12:1. And one of the reasons that you confess Yahweh Shai and you believe in Yahweh Shai is so that Yahweh Shai can confess you before the angels. Now, one of those angels is Michael the archangel, all right, who's going to stand up as a protection. And it tells you in the book of Psalms, the 91st chapter, in verse 10, it says, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy way. Now, who does that apply to? That applies to the men of the Lord, those that serve Yahweh through his son Yahweh Shai. And many of them you have been evil towards. You have shown your hatred and your disdain for those that put their trust in Yahweh Shai. These men that have been sacrificing their time, all right, to serving the Lord, and you gave them hell, man. All right, because your desire for pleasure, your desire for living in luxury and living voluptuously, all right, through following the desire of the flesh. So therefore, when it comes down to you, there's not going to be anyone to play the part of the Redeemer for you. There's no one that's going to protect you in these times. But for those women that have humbled themselves, all right, they will have protection. All right, they're going to flock into the man of the Lord. And they don't have to worry about being rejected. And matter of fact, when they flock into the man of the Lord, they're not going to give a damn if they're not going to give a damn, if he has other women flocking to him. As it states within Isaiah 4:1, it says, and in that day, seven women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So in that day, man, in these days, Salakia, in these days, things are going to go back to how they should be. All right, this was the proper order before Esau implemented the system that he set up, man. All right, which is a state of corruption. And he gave you license and liberty to do as you please. And you didn't choose the way of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, for the majority of you women that are out there. All right, you chose the way of liberty. You chose the way of wickedness. All right, Esau tells you that, hey, look, you can work. Well, there's nothing wrong with the woman working. But with you working, he says that you can be independent. And that you don't need a man. That you can do it all on your own. And you believe that fucking lie? You believe the devil? And what did that come? What was the let's say, What was the for the lack of better word, what was the effects of you being independent? Now all of the weight of paying the bills falls on your shoulders. You're stressed out because although you want to be independent, you still like to fuck. You still like pleasure, right? So guess what? You end up with kids. And now you got to worry about maintaining those kids as well as paying the bills. And you believe what the devil said, man. And now you're struggling and you're all alone, man. With no help. And believing that you can be independent. Well, if you could be independent, then you wouldn't be in the state of stress that you were in, man. You need a man. That's the proper balance. And you need to be submissive unto him. So going back to 1 Samuel, the 30th chapter. And I'll start at verse 1. And I'm going to hop around in here. But this shows how a man plays the part of a redeemer to protect you when trouble comes upon you. 1 Samuel 30:1, it says, and it came to pass when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day that the Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziklag and smitten Ziklag and burnt it with fire. Now, David and his men were all fighting. I believe they were fighting the Philistines. And this shows you how weak Esau Edom is. All right, because they're always attacking the women and the children, man. Always. So when we would go out to fight, we would leave a few behind, to protect the cities. But majority of the time there were women and children, and elderly within the cities. Now Esau likes to prey on the weak, on the elderly, on the women and children. And had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captive. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up the voice and wept until they had no more power to weep. And David's two wives were taken captives, Ahinoam, the Jezreelitess, and Abigail, the wife of Nabal, the Carmelite, which Nabal died. So David eventually took Abigail to be his wife. And what? David had more than one wife? Wow. And I said wow sarcastically, because in this society it's taught that it's an abomination to have more than one woman. In the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have more than one woman, and we're going to deal with them. Verse 6, it says, and David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the sons of all the people were grieved, every man for his son and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in Yahweh his power. And David said to Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray thee, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought hither the ephod to David. Now, we don't have an ephod, all right? But there's an importance in taking counsel, especially within the times that we're in. And if no one's there to give you counsel because all is going to shit, you better use praying to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. You better use prayer, and you better trust in what the Spirit is showing you, man. And David inquired at Yahweh, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? And shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. It says, so David went, he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. And David pursued, he and 400 men and 200 abode behind. So this time he allowed 200 to abide behind, because they were too faint to go and fight. It says, which was so faint that they could not go over the brook Besor. And they found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David and gave him bread, and he did eat. And they made him drink water. And they gave him a piece of cake of a fig and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his spirit came again to him, for he had eaten no bread nor drunk water 3 days and 3 nights. And David said unto him, To whom belongest thou, and whence art thou? And he said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant of an Amalekite, and my master left me because 3 days ago I fell sick. We made an invasion upon the south of the Kerethites, and upon the coast which belonged to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag with fire. And David said to him, Canst thou bring me to this company? And he said, Swear unto me by God that thou wilt not kill me, nor deliver me to the hands of my master, and I will bring thee down to this company. And when he had brought them down, behold, they were spread abroad upon the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of the great spoil, that they had taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah. And David smote them from twilight even unto the evening of the next day. So he whooped their ass from twilight even unto evening. And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men, who rode upon camels and fled. And David recovered all, and the Amalekites had carried away, and David rescued his 2 wives. So David played the part of the Redeemer. How much more so in these times, man, when there's chaos on every side? When people are invading their neighbors, when the Egyptians are against the Egyptians, when citizens are against citizens. People right now are fighting over electronics, they're fighting over water, they're fighting over toilet paper, they're fighting over these basic things. How much more so when things really get bad? And we're not even that deep into the situation. So things are really going to get critical. And when they do, women are going to get ravished. You're going to have men escaping from prison. The only thing they're going to have on their mind is getting some food and getting some box. And that's it, man. Who's going to protect you? Because the servants, the men of the Lord, they're going to be a protection. They're going to be protected, and they're going to be a protection. It tells you that in the book of Isaiah, the 32nd chapter, in verse 2. It says, A man shall be in hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So when you're crossing through a desert and you don't have any shade or you don't have any water, man, you're parched. But if you find an oasis that can provide you shade and water, that causes you to be able to survive while in that state of despair. And that's how important a man will be within these times. He's going to be a covering for you. He's going to be protection. And all of you women that have been at ease at this moment, who have chose to live in pleasure, who have chose to, not be submissive to their man because they thought that they can work and be independent and make more than a man, and provide a lifestyle for themselves and do it on their own. And you've been despising the men of the Lord. You've been being disrespectful. You're not going to have protection. And everything that you thought that you could find security in is going to fail you. This is Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and many years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come in. So that paycheck ain't coming. And even if it does, eventually the dollar bill is going to be done away with. And before Esau rose out the mark of the beast system, they want the world in a state of panic. They want the world in a state of chaos. So they're going to let it be so until the people desire a solution to the chaotic things that are going on. And that's when Esau is going to roll out the chip, because he's going to know that people are going to be willing to take it at that moment, seeing that they just went through a state of chaos. All right, rioting, looting, seeing mass death. All right, people dying of famine, people dying of plagues and pestilence and sickness. That's when he's going to roll it out. But he wants you to be fearful, because in order for his new world order to work and for it to be implemented, he first has to make the chaos come. So for a minute, you're going to be without water. You're going to be without food. You're going to be without protection. And you're just a open game at that time. And a lot of women in that time, they're going to flee unto the men of the Lord, because they're going to see how them being faithful unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has created an opportunity for them to be protected. Men of the Lord are going to receive powers from on high. They're going to receive food. They're going to receive water. They're going to have shelter. They're going to have protection. All right. But you women that have lived in pleasure, what are you going to do? It says, tremble, you women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make ye bare and jerry sackcloth upon your loins. That means to mourn. All right, you're going to be in a state of mourning. All right, and a lot of these women, all right, that have husbands, all right, hey, a lot of their husbands are going to be shipped off, to fight in the wars. A lot of their husbands are going to die in the hour of martial law. A lot of them are going to die of famine. A lot of them are going to die of plagues. 2 Ezra 16:33 says, the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. All right, the women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So a lot of men are going to die, which means what? That means that the men that are left, all right, being elect men that put their trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, these men are going to be precious. They're going to be as precious as gold. All right, they're going to be more precious than gold. Rather, Isaiah the 13th chapter, verse 12, it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So in that time, all right, the men of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to be more precious than gold. They're going to be more valuable than gold. So to you women that have chose to live in pleasure, hey, you're dead right now. Because the scripture says in 1 Timothy 5:6, it says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. So you're already dead. And what is the word for pleasure? The word there is spataleo, to live luxuriously. All right, lead a voluptuous life. Give oneself to pleasure. All right, so while you out there chasing a bag, getting it out the mud. All right, here it is. I never understood this concept. A woman can get married. All right, she can have a husband and bear children. All right, he can secure her by working. But she'll rather go and strip and hoe and to put her life in danger every single day just to make some money. I don't understand that. Or a woman will be willing to struggle, claiming that she's independent and she can do it on her own, all the while needing help just to prove a point. That is the most stupidest thing in the fucking world, man. But really, it's because they love freedom and liberty, and they're rebellious, and they don't want you telling them what to do. So this right here fits the women of these times, man. They live luxuriously, all right, and they lead a voluptuous lifestyle, living a lifestyle full of pleasure, sensual pleasure, all right, putting themselves at risk of STDs, all right, the coronavirus. You're gonna catch the coronavirus in the mouth trying to swallow. But anyways, a woman ain't supposed to be this way. The scriptures say in the book of Sirach, and I believe that's the 26th chapter, in verse 8, it says, a drunken woman in the gutter abroad causes great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. So you're not worried about covering your own shame. All right, you're being gathered abroad. You're wandering the streets. There's a lot of women that are staying at home right now, because of this coronavirus thing. Jobs are getting locked down, things of that nature. Which, everything can go back to normal eventually. Really things ain't gonna pick up until Esau pushes that mark of the beast, all right, which is the RFID chip. So Esau can make you go into a panic and then, make everything go back to normal. But ultimately, when that mark of the beast is implemented, that's when all hell is going to break loose, man. That's when things are going to pick up. So you women were gathered abroad, all right, hitting the clubs, hitting the streets, riding the cock carousel. It says the whoredom of a woman may be known in their haughty looks and in her eyelids, man. Putting on long eyelashes. All right, doing up your eyes and your eyebrows so that you can capture men with your attempts, with your looks. All right, not covering your shame, not covering your wickedness. All right, not covering your body up. All sorts of things, man. It says, if thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself with overmuch liberty. And that's what you women have done. You have abused yourselves through liberty. Watch over an impudent eye and marvel not if she trespass against you. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he have found a fountain and drink of every water near her. All right, by every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. So that mouth is not speaking about the mouth that's on your head. All right, that mouth is talking about her vagina. So like a thirsty traveler, all right, who would drink of every fountain that they pass by, that's how you have taken penises. You have dealt with multiple different men. When the scriptures say that you're supposed to have one man and that you're supposed to submit yourself unto him. But you haven't chosen to do that. This is Proverbs 30 and 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done nothing. And I've heard a conversation before, because I used to work in a phone store. And a woman was in there talking on the phone. And she said that that basically her ex-dude came over. And she allowed him to smash. And while he was smashing, the dude that she was with came knocking on the door. I'm sorry. After she smashed, the guy left. And about 5 minutes later, her mate, the dude that she's with, came knocking on the door. And she said that she started while he was in the kitchen eating, she went and smoked a blunt and was blowing the smoke on her to hide the smell of the sex around the house and also on her. That's pure wickedness, man. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and say that I have done nothing. And this is the shameless things, all right, that have been going on. And I haven't even touched on, the situations in which when a man will have a child with a woman and she knowing that he's in the truth, all right, getting dreams from Yahweh Bashmi Awashai and everything, man. Which shows you that a woman doesn't believe, and that if she does have a dream, really it ain't for her, it's for her husband. Putting all kind of hell on him, man. All right, the day is coming where women are going to be trodden down like the mire of the street, man. All right, when the Lord allows judgment to come through, he's not going to make you exempt just because you're a woman. All right, he's going to judge men and women. Going over to Titus, because really this is how women were supposed to be. All right, and this is how some of them are. You got some woman who's trying to be in order. all right, who's respecting their man, knowing that he served Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and trying their best to stay in his corner. Now, every once in a while, Satan will creep in. They'll get a demon on them. For the most part, they're not giving them that much hell. So this really applies to those women that are just blatantly being wicked. Titus 2:4, it says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed. So this is how a woman is supposed to conduct herself. It says chaste and keepers at home. All right, you're supposed to rule the household, man. You ain't supposed to be out in the streets. You're not supposed to be living, luxuriously, and living after sensual pleasure. Because that's the energy that America pushes. That's the vibration that the serpent pushes. All right, and a lot of you women have taken the philosophy that the serpent has given it to you. All right, this beast system. And you have lived by it. And men ain't falling for that shit no more, man. All right, the men of the Lord are choosing this truth over, your bullshit. So if you try to give your man an ultimatum and say, well, it's either me or it's the truth, well, he's going to kick your ass to the curb, and don't be surprised. And he's waiting for this day for you to realize, and this day meaning these moments of judgment, man. For you to realize that what he was doing was the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Sirach 25:24 says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passion, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorcement. So he's going to divorce your ass, and he's going to wait for this day. And in these days, women ain't going to be exempt. Even children aren't going to be exempt if they're not covered by the grace of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Even elderly ain't going to be exempt if they're not covered by the graces of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And a man trusting in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, believing upon the Lord, can save not only himself, but saving his household. So the time is going to come when you want to be a part of the household of a man that's serving Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in truthfulness and righteousness, in truth and sincerity. Acts 16:29, it says, then he called for a light and sprang in and came trembling and fell down before Paul and Silas and brought them out and said, sirs, what must I do to be saved? And they said, believe on the Lord Yahushai Mashiach, that thou shalt be saved and thy house. So the ones that's going to be good in these times, even though they're going to be in it, they're going to be brought out of it. They're going to be protected. It's the men that serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So with that, I truly hope that this lesson has been edifying. This has been why having a man, or rather, why having a man of the Lord is necessary for the state of survival. That's the reason that they're necessary, for the state of survival, especially in these times. So with that, Shalom.